Let's start with just some replays, and then I will try to set up a game for later as well, if anybody would be interested. So, have we got also a chat? It is live. Excellent. Thanks, Faust. So, I think... Okay, I'm going to start with some of my own replays, because, I mean, yeah, I think, like, these as well in particular, like, I know what I did, and I know at what point I was thinking every single thing, so it's easier for me to explain something without just speculating, because, you know, at any one point, if I watch Tex's game, I can speculate as to why he did something, or how he did it, but at the same time, I can't say for sure. So, speaking of Tex, I am going to put up a game between Tex and myself, with Tex as the Chaos Sorcerer, and I'm playing the Tech Marine. This is on Quest Heresy. So, guys, feel free to leave in the chat any feedback as well about the stream. Anything like the quality of the stream, or anything that you think I should do afterwards, or even if this wasn't very good, or any feedback as well. That'd be excellent. Thank you very much. So let's start. So, first thing to note about Quest Heresy is that it's really contained, like the areas are very contained. Especially the center. Like, there are only so many entrances into the center. In particular, there are really like 3 from each side. So if you control the center, you actually like really split up your opponent. Like, if he can't go in through here, he has to go all the way around the flank, and it's quite easy if you've got a Devastator to like control this area from either this cover if you're on this side, or this cover. But we'll see. So Tex going for Space Marine, Chaos Space Marines into Chaos Heretics. Very standard opening build. Just gives you nice map control in 1v1. Heretics bleed quite a lot in particular earlier on, but this double worship possibility for Sorcerer in particular is really very nice. Like, as you'll see, I don't cope with it all too well to begin with. So here I am, just I've got these 2 scouts coming out, which will give me better map control. But I just am happy to just trade blows with him here, like bait out this energy usage from him. Whereas I'm moving to this cover to flank his, so this model in particular is taking a lot of damage and it'll eventually drop. But here, see, this is I should have seen this ploy coming, and this was poor of me not to realize, but I tried to punish this heretic worship by shooting these heretics, and obviously he just moved up and forced off my attacks. No model lost though. So at this point, just damage limitation. I know that these heretics are coming over that would tie up my Tech Marine, so I just force melee with my Tech Marine and kite it this way. All the while, I'm just trying to buy time, because I'm not winning a fight here, right? Not with two scouts that Tech Marine, so I'm just moving off to the flanks and trying to ping away at him. Nice Doom Bolt from Tex. Like, he gets some really nice Doom Bolts on me, because I didn't fully adapt, and he always predicted where I would kite to, and Doom Bolt there, so really nice play. So, Heretics now forcing off these scouts, and this is good for me, because if you look at like the map control, like this Heretic wasn't influencing map control. I didn't have this, but at the same time, by just harassing, I didn't lose this, and he didn't get anything. This Heretic, by the way, goes down to 1 hit point, so that's nice. So Tex has lost the model there because of the earlier flanking maneuver. If I had stayed down here, there was no way that a model was dropping here. But look at this map control that Tex has, and now he's got a Chaos Havoc as well to cement his control of the center. So I'm going to find it really difficult to move forward, and especially with this Sorcerer and Chaos Space Marines. Like, Tex, all he's thinking now is I need to keep the pressure up, and even if it's just, you know, 2 models against 2 models and they're low, I can't cap, so I'm kind of constricted in this area. And I know that Tex controls the center. I know that a push straight down the middle is going to work, even though I haven't seen this Havoc yet. I'm thinking that, you know, this is the reasoning behind this more flanking maneuver. And generally, you'll find that when your opponent has the kind of army advantage, then you kind of have to go for flank play. You have to go to be more evasive and drag them off and like de-blob them so they can't have the focus. So here I'm trying to mind games Tex and not chasing my Tech Marine, because I think that he can pretty much wipe my Tech Marine, but I misjudged that, but it all worked out. couldn't finish the cap. So look at this map control that Tex has got. It's all blue. Like, Tex going for a more heavy tier 1 than me to begin with, going for these gens, and I'm floating a lot of wreck, and the problem is I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure. I don't feel that I can really secure my generators, so I would rather have the spare requisition to reinforce if I were to lose my gen defense, or or when I've finally secured it and I feel secure about it, I'll drop down the gens instantly. So again, like, Tex keeping him some very nice pressure, but I think that these Havocs should be further up here, because they need to control me here. He knows where I am, so if you put it here, he would have been able to more effectively come over here and put the Havocs here, or move over here and put the Havocs here, just to constrain me further. But I think that he gave me a bit too much space there, and when he didn't need to. Like, where you have this big of a pressure advantage, you really should be trying to maximize that, because then that just reduces your opponent's chances. So notice again, like, I'm coming from a flank because I know that the Havocs are here now. So nice Doom Bolt attempt, quite successful. I get suppressed. I really, like, a bit of an inaccuracy for me. I should be leading with my Assault Marines, and they should be the ones getting suppressed first, so that the support is not late. And here, like, this is not a good fight. Like, 2 aspiring champion melee heretics and a Havoc. So I just kite away, and notice I kite this way just to buy time for the scout shotguns to knock back the melee blob. And that's poor of Tex. Like, he shouldn't just blob them all in one place. They should be more split up. So Assault Marine jump. All the while, I've got a Captain Scout here, so I'm getting myself back in the VP game. No, map control. So I am going to pause here. So let's look at overall, like, resources. Tex is nearly tier 2. I've got a measly 11 power. I'm a good, 113 power behind. He has a far superior income with 64 against my 49. And that comes from this control and this control. So the problem is, like, with these, like, in 1v1 especially, like, these unnoded power nodes actually give quite a significant bit of power. I mean, +5. It's considering that has no, like, requisition invested into it. It's half the base income, which is quite a lot. So I'm thinking here, like, I wanted the Assault Marines to counter the Havocs, and Tactical Marine Squad is core to my strategy, and the 2 shotguns, well, not only the 1 shotgun and the Sergeant made sense considering both the infiltration and the shotguns. So so I've gone for 2 investments here: Bionics and Masscraft Bolter, and we'll see how effective that is later. But Tex, on the other hand, his power income, expenditure has been 90 power against my soon to be 60, 100, 150 power. So understandably I'm behind, and I'm gonna have to make some plays because I've been behind on map control as well. So let's continue. So Assault Marines coming and decapping this rep point, and I know that I'm behind here, so I really need to be completely trying to constrain Tex and limit the advantage that he's got. So what do I go for? I put a turret behind this cover, and Tacticals coming out here, just playing more pressure. I'm kind of feeling that I definitely will finish the Tarantula, but I Assault Marine jump him just to make sure so he doesn't get a lucky special. So now notice what this has done. Before, when I said, like, he constrained me, like, down the central area, this turret is very dominating. It's very far forward, and the downside is it can be flanked, both from this side and that side. But what it does do is that it gives an unsuppressible damage source that does suppression itself, which is the advantage that, like, Havocs, it's the advantage that Havocs have over heavy bolter devastators. Like, Havocs have much more reliable suppression and will rarely get suppressed by heavy bolter devs. But if you put down a turret here, suddenly that dynamic has been reversed, and this will dominate until at least Tex gets tier 2 and possibly a Blood Crusher if that's his choice. But anyway, so notice immediately Tex is being forced to the flanks now. I'm not the one being forced to the flank play, he's the one who's being forced to the flank play. Tacticals with scouts in reserve. Now this is something that's very important about the formation. You always, if you've got like these sort of like heretics moving forward, the scouts are in the reserve formation. And now, you know, just because like there are no range spots here, I feel very comfortable leading with my scouts. Poor micro for me, but get the force off the Havocs anyway soon enough. So the plan now is split up, force off these heretics, and go for the gem bash. So here, little bit of Thorn Micro. I could have been better to not get suppressed and not get these scouts so close in to these double expiring champion heretics. But all the while, the main point of this exercise was to buy time for this this gem bash to happen. Doombolt avoided. Noah's Havoc is here, so I'm not feeling so secure with. Even though I got a turret here, I don't feel secure going for the bash, because if I get like my tacticals or ASM forced off, then I'm gonna have a real problem defending this turret. So I'm just happy to go back, cement my map control, and try to eventually pick off these weakened heretics. So Assault Marines here to give the Tech Marine support if he needs it, because I decided to cancel the Mastercrafted Bolter. I've forgotten about that, that's funny. Deciding that I'm probably going to need something like a melter gun or a plasma gun. So map changing hands now. I'm trying to go for at least a 2 to 0 cap, which I will get. But scouts here forcing off. I mean, look at this. These two heretics, which have been forced to be going to a flanking position to flank this turret, but have been doing nothing except being chased around, bleeding, and now eventually just having to do a long retreat. Now, I know that the two heretic retreat is very good for me because it gives me a small window of opportunity to go finish off this gem bash. I'm expecting a Blood Crusher pretty soon. I don't think I expected it this soon. I think I would have expected a little bit more power expenditure from Tex, but Havoc's not in the right position to take on the scouts. So anyway, Blood Crusher forcing off this Tech Marine squad, very logical, but all in the meantime, it is just buying time for me to finish this jet match. So notice I just tried to drag over the tack this way so that he has to chase, and he hasn't got like a clear charge onto me, like this bit of terrain is blocking, so he can't charge over, and there's no point charging over the Tech Marine. Meanwhile, notice that even if he wanted to, and he forced this off, like he doesn't know where I am in tech, so he's thinking I have to use this Blood Crusher to take out this Tarantula as soon as possible. But that gives me the time to finish this off. So scouts finally forced off. He's going for the turret naturally because that is the thing that has been completely shutting down this game. He's already got CSM though, so my ASM get up pretty speedily and get the last hit with the Tech Marine and back off. Turret goes down. Now, all this time, like, Tex was 113 power ahead of me. Now, I'm going into tier 2 with about 40 seconds to go, but I'm also 40 power behind, like 40 power less than him, so he's got a massive power advantage. But notice, I got his gens. And how's his economy doing? Plus 203 against plus 348. Plus 25 against plus 49. So basically, the next phase of the game is all about buying time. It's all about stalling this advantage and using my superior resources to bring this game back up to a par. So the strategy is keep these gens, keep them safe, try not to let him cap the whole map, and then by the time I get to tier 2 I should have reasonable chances. So scouts need to stay active, especially when you see these like Blood Crushers running around. Like with walkers, oh yeah, here's a play. So sorry to miss that in its entirety, but like Tex used a Havoc to cap that, and I threw like faked the grenade and he retreated, so I threw the grenade in the retreat path, so I got him there. But yeah, no, it's like small things to try to like get this game more up to parity. And now look how broke Tex is. after he buys this Havoc, he's going to have 100 requisition and no power to speak of. They're going for the counter bash, which is correct. Okay, here's a very important thing that I do. Like, notice how I'm moving up in battle formation. I'm trying to mind games him. Like, in reality, I haven't got a missile launcher coming really that soon, but I want him to think like he can't just stand here and start hitting these gens with impunity. But I don't take much damage. But again, small little like fake outs and moving forward. Now I've got the missile. Now I shoot, and in that time he could have easily gotten another 2 generators. So it's another important aspect of that was dropping the generator in his face. Like, people assume that if you're a good player, you don't drop your gens unless you can defend them. So if you come out like, you know, faking that you can, then he probably buys that, and he did there. Correct play for Tex, take all the gens. Don't wait for me to like. I mean, he could escape. If he moved up these heretics, got off the double worship, he could just charge straight out of there. There wasn't really a risk, but like that's the problem. Like, Tex doesn't actually know where I am in tech, whereas I'm probably more familiar with where he is at. So again, just I've kind of stabilized the situation somewhat. It's still tenuous. I mean, looking at the compositions, he's got an extra vehicle on me. Same number of squads, extra vehicles. So I would find it difficult to take a straight up fight, but I try to here, like just try to get some pressure. And I think overall, like, you can't stay all too passive. Like, I've only got 26 power, so I've got to go for the fight now. But look how much work that plasma gun is doing. These Chaos Space Marines were full health not so long ago. Finally losing a model. But Havoc's well positioned. Like, Tex using the unworship so that it can become uninfiltrated. Yeah, nice play. But here comes the Bloodletcher summoning, and that's in response to like the number of like heretics I just pled at the beginning, and at that point I've just got to retreat because it's like having like Bloodletters jumping out of a razorback at you. It's not fun. It's not fun. So notice again though, like Tex, he invested 200 red for this fight, and it's not a bad investment. Like it's in terms of pressure, he's gonna get these 2 points. He's probably gonna get that one. He might get the decap here. So what do? I'm the one again going for the flank play. I've finished this cap with my capping scout. And I've decided not to just because normally I would recommend just going for the decap and moving on. But I'm not seeing a way to win this straight up fight. I don't see a way to just push through anymore. Like, especially that last fight, it didn't go according to my plan. So I'm just gonna send these scouts through here and just go for this cap because there's just no point. So yeah, going for the cap. It's gonna have to invest some time with these heretics on this Blood Crusher, which incidentally can be both repaired and worshipped. So that's interesting. Scout squad doing a hand wave to this Havoc squad, so Tex not successful in forcing these guys off, which would have been quite significant considering how much map control he has compared to mine. Like, it would have been a big deal to force them all the way back to base so quickly. So again, back to this flank play, no longer forcing my way through the middle, because again I fear these Havocs. Like, if I came straight down the middle, notice, I'm gonna find it much more difficult to jump, and I mean, I'm finding it difficult here, like, and for that reason, I pick up the infiltration. It's not that cheap, but at the same time, it gives them so much map sustainability. Taking that burst, they just cut off, they regenerate it straight away. Like, it's not a problem, and you can. And it's also really nice, I find, on shotgun with sergeants, because like they just have an unlimited energy supply and they can just keep using their abilities. And yeah, so that plasma gun doing serious amount of work. And here I think Tex, yeah, actually big fight going here. Like completely effectively whiffs on the Merciless Strike, not doing well. Also mismicroing these stacks. So this is a horrible fight for me. Like, Tex doing well, and this is one of the things that you have to do with suppression teams. After they get initially jumped, you suppress whatever melee is trying to trap them, and then you just cut off your Havoc and reset them up further back, and this completely dominates this field. If the Assault Marines jump again, they are dead. You see, like 51 hit points, and I didn't quite show it here, but Tex let me off pretty badly with using the Blood Crusher Roar instead of going for the last hit on the Assault Marines. So very, very fortunate to get away with it. So Razorback now here to shore up the defenses, and this is the whole point of that engagement. I could have waited for the Razorback to come out, and I probably should, but I always knew that, like, in the end, whatever he pushes through with, like Space Marines, Sorcerer, 2 Heretics, I'm fine with the Razorback. Like, I can just like harass these off, and I'm not going to lose too many gens. Again, I'm floating a lot of wreck because this has been like a continuation of what happened before. Like, I haven't had a lot of powers, so I'm gonna be very happy to just keep dropping generators. Whereas Tex still hasn't even got his generators up, and not too much. Well, he's got the wreck income now actually, but anyway. So defending the generators now, just keeping the Razorback back. So like he knows that he can't come over here and attack this Razorback because the attack Marines are back. The Assault Marines are reinforcing the Razorback. It's difficult for him. And just not getting the initiation that, like, sorry, not getting the generators that he even wanted. And forced to use infiltration and almost loses the Heretic squad, really. Again, look at this map control that that Tex has. Like all this time this fight is happening, I'm under pressure. I've got to go for it, and, like, sweep up the map and try to establish dominance in map control. One of the things I should have noted, actually, like, you know, even though these Assault Marines were not really at full health, like, arguably, like, they were almost dead not so long before. It just reinforced off the Razorback. It gives you so much momentum to just keep pushing and pushing. And notice that this is the second time I scouted the enemy generators. Like, I was very much like, I need to know where Tex is at because I'm the one under pressure. And remember this maneuver I did with the scouts? That was when I double checked. That's when I checked what his gen farm was like. So I knew that Tex was going to be going for this heavy T2 build instead of going for T3. I mean, that's the most logical thing. And he, after replacing the Havocs, he picks up Plague Marines, which makes sense considering no generators. He wants to get something that's relatively wreck heavy. Don't buy generators. And counters Razorback. Very logical. If he didn't want to get the generator, not the generator, the Dreadnought, it's very logical to go this way with your economy. So re-establishing my, actually establishing map dominance. I think this would be the first time that I've actually had most of the map control in a long time. So I've only got 1 infiltrate on my scouts. This has become my capping scout, but due to the amount of like heretic trouble like this has been giving me, I decided I really wanted to pick up the second shotgun, something just to like shore up my defenses so that they could camp behind the Razorback and really provide a real good anchor point if need be. So again, Tex, he's the one who feels like he's got to make the flying plays. I mean, pushing through here, I think he really fears that. So then remember what I said earlier about when people go for flank play, they really split up their army. Unless they're really happy just for me to just storm down this way and just grab this VP the moment he vacates the area, he has to split up his troops. So here's a Havoc, which will do nothing effectively. That Sorcerer, which will have to run away. And meanwhile, his AV's over here, and his Blood Crusher's over here. So this is the point of controlling the center. When you have a mobile defense force, you just run this way and force him off. He just has to run away. If he decides to pincer me, I can just force this way again, come into this area, and turn, force him off, because then I'll have the unit advantage, because I've forced off these 2 units quickly. So, like, pincering, it's only really effective if you catch your opponent completely off guard, or you come in from the rear, because generally their units will not be in the correct position to counter your maneuver. Otherwise, like, if I'm more mobile, and I can just push in the blob, I can just push out of any pincer that he tries. So, and Tex as well, like, he's being very cautious because I don't think he really knows where I'm at and where like overall, like, I mean, these guys, like, they are being so inefficient with their time. Like, my whole army's over here, effectively, and the attacks are over doing some capping and doing some map securing, but he really has to be doing more than just capping with his Plague Marines and going infiltrate. But I think his plan is to not give up his cards too easily and just go for this push straight through here. But overall, like, this is a lot of time that I'm just sitting on everything bar 3 of the points. Still no power node even. Just no generators, no power node. I've got 256 income. Tex has 159 rec income. That's a lot of upkeep. And this is another thing as well, like, even though he hasn't lost any squads, he's had to pay a lot for reinforcements. And even though I have as well, I've been able to maximize, like, Razorbacks and, like, well, not even Razorbacks, but just whenever I've been bleeding, I've had a lot of floats, so that's not really too much of a problem. Whereas, like, whenever Tex is bleeding, his float has been quite light. So look at that plasma gun doing work. Like, just to be honest, I got this plasma gun because the Zinch CSM were giving me trouble. But overall, it was just it's just really solid choice against Chaos Space Marines. Like, the damage output with the ability is just absolutely insane. So big fight coming up now. I'm leading with my scouts because I need the detection, and far too much damage on the ASM. Nice charge, and like, he is just running rampant. And let's have a look at the position here. So this is the second turret that I've used, and I should have mentioned that because that was coming up. But the reasoning behind this is, like, compared to the turret that was here, this one was to indirectly control the center because it controls the entrances into the center and splits up their play. But this is a turret to simply dominate the center. And to be honest, I don't play Tech Marine very much, and I certainly don't use turrets very much. But these are the sort of ideas that I've been toying around with. And the idea behind it is isolate them. Like, Blood Crushers in particular are really very good with support. Like, they're not particularly spectacular by themselves. It's certainly not in the late game. They to scale, they need levels, and to be effective, even after they've scaled, they need support. They're not very good by themselves. So the idea behind it: so isolate the infantry support from the Blood Crushers, and secondly, notice I had preempted Tex because, again, using my knowledge of the enemy economy, I knew that after the Plague Marines, he was only going to really get Blood Crusher or a Dreadnought, really. Like, he could have gotten Blood Ledgers, but I don't think that would have made, like, the impact that he would have wanted, because by then I really would have been getting a Dread and a Razorback with Assault Marines. I think it would have been very painful for him. So I expected him to get a Blood Crusher or a Dreadnought, so I went Orbs on Messiah. So now we go back to this big fight. Sorry about this. So Melter goes down, Tactical Marines being tied up by the Blood Crusher, and down goes the Orbs, and that gets both. So here, like, poor micro from the Razorback should be contributing, the Tarantula should be suppressing, but I'm thinking, damn, I need to save my Assault Marines. So here they are, and just trying to put a lot of pressure on these heretics, because these heretics are really, like, they're his kind of lifeline. Blood Ledger summoning now here. Tex furiously reinforcing and throwing away a lot of requisition. He is, like, got those in reinforced Overwatch, and they're just getting devastated by the turret and the Razorback. Assault Squad now being reinforced by the drop pod. Same with Tactical Marines being forced this way. Of course, just buying time for a Melta, and then using the Tactical Missile to finish them off. Plasma Gun absolutely blowing up Chaos Space Marines. And this is a complete rout. Tex lost 2 heretics under the support of the Tarantula, and and Razorback. What else was lost? Oh yeah, 2 Blood Crushers. But that double Orbs was really important. That double Orbs completely swung that fight to me. And this is the general idea behind the turret. I wanted to look at the map control. This was the same map control as that during the whole entire fight, because nothing was capping. It was just a massive, bloody battle. But just these control the center and just stop his advance, and it baits him into an unfavorable advance. More favorable choices would have been to make a flanking maneuver, but that push down the middle was very predictable, and overall I think it could have gone either way, but the heretics were just not in the right position, and he really needed to come and flank this turret, which is still alive, by the way. So at this point, like, there's not all too much to say. Like, Tex again is completely broke. Like, he hasn't got the upkeep now, but he's just been bleeding very hard. And this is the problem about, like, a lot of people, they really, I mean, I think you'll find this more with Space Marines like me, with over 500 red, but Tex using 2 Bloodledger summonings. And you know, if he was in tier 3, he'd be able to drop a nuke, and a nuke might have been very useful in that fight, in fact, but he wasn't tier 3, and his super well, I suppose, like, last-ditch effort at using a heavy tier 2 didn't quite pay off. So really, this really emphasizes when you go for the heavy unit builds, especially when you don't have generators, they're completely valid. Don't get me wrong, they're completely valid, and in fact, like, my style is like relatively, like, it's quite heavily related to it. But then in that case, you need to be winning the fights. You need to be the one backing the generators, and you need to be one later defending your generators so that you can finish off. Like, you know, sorry, not finish off. Catch up in the tech race and equalize your position. Because notice, Tex was the one who severely out-teched me to tier 2, but I was the one who severely out-teched him, and in fact, he's not getting into tier 3 at all. There's a Razorback here, a little bit of poor micro, but I'm not exactly all too worried. Okay, so let's have a look at this DPS coming out of this plasma gun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that plasma gun overcharge is insane. You need to tie that up, or if you're Chaos especially, use Noise Marines. Seriously, use Noise Marines against Tech Marine. I would highly recommend that, and even potentially getting, you know, if you got like two heretics and Noise Marines, I would highly recommend that build against Tech Marine. Anyway, hope you found that helpful, insightful, and please give any comments and thoughts, and I'm going to look for the next thing to do on the stream. Stay tuned.
Time when you'll regret it someday.
Be careful with Toil's game. What did Toilailee do? Yeah, so one of the things that I saw somebody mention was why didn't Tex get Vestments to Warp? And I asked him myself, in fact, because I really like Vestments to the Warp, just myself. I mean, just standard cheesy. Everybody likes it. Yeah, I'm joking, of course. But he said that I had two shotguns, so he expected me to get two shotguns as well, because we are both quite familiar with each other's styles. So he didn't think that in the long run it would have been a good investment. It might have been effective in the early game, but I don't think Tex is the kind of player to get war gears and then kind of like, you know, for the short term and then change it out for something more useful later. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's a difference in opinion as well, because I think I would have gone Vestments there just to disrupt. And I mean, he was concerned that with shotguns you'd knock back the Sorcerer, he'd take a lot of damage, but for me, from my perspective, I would have gone Noise Marines as well. So I want to get in there and start tying stuff up and causing enough disruption for Noise Marines to really have their effect. And so the Noise Marines are really kind of like the front line along with the Sorcerer. With the not scout shotguns, aspiring champion heretics running in reserve, because inevitably you're going to be having assault marine counter initiation onto your assault noise marines. So for that, you just keep your aspiring champion heretics on standby. Anything else? Any other questions, people? Keep them coming. Oh, also, how do you feel is the TM in general? Interesting. I don't see that many Tech Marines played that often, really. But so I'm kind of going off like my experiences of before before I switched exclusively to Elite, and I think that Tech Marine is a really strong hero in a variety of matchups, but he's a little bit lacking against suppression, just a little bit, just because, like, yes, don't get me wrong, like, Mastercraft's Bolter is great and the suppression on demand is a nice soft counter to suppression, but when you're running up against things like double suppression and it starts hurting you a bit more than it would like assault marine with apothecary or with a force commander. So it's, and if he hasn't got any grenade launchers with knockback or anything there to help him out, so he does have that sort of weakness. But otherwise, yeah, really, really nice commander. Like, Plasma Gun's great, Mastercrafted Bolter's great, Bionic's my favorite armor, Artificer armor is really great. I mean, everything that he's got, actually, to be honest. Even the new Power Axe, I think it's a really nice weapon. It's got some nice utility, although probably not as like, I would get it primarily for the energy drain, and if I wanted to counter initiate against jump troops. So I would get it against something like Chaos Lord, maybe. I wouldn't particularly get it against, like, if he wasn't relying on his commander energy so much, for example, I would stick with something like a plasma gun. So I am getting chat from, well, may I join you in this? Oh no, is that Joanne? Wait, is it just me, or do you find text Riku? I shouldn't be saying this on the stream. Master, teach me how you rockets have 100% accuracy on infantry. Couple ASM with Signum armor. Yeah, that's true. Like Mark Target. I think that Mark Target is a fantastic armor. I don't get it that often because I'm a big fan of my bionics, and it's, you know, I like putting on the melee pressure when I'm moving forward. So Necronter, go Codex, you can win. Oh wait, it's a replay. Facepalm. Oh yeah, thanks for the replays, Crazy. I might have a look at them in a second, but wait. I've downloaded Tex vs Toil, so I shall. Oh, poor Tex, getting all these replays of people like beating him up. I'm pretty sure that because Toil recommended it as well, he wins. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert, guys. So let's see. Typhon Lowlands. So if I remember correctly, that is Green Tooth Gorge. So yeah. Sorry about the extended break, guys, but we should be back online with Tex versus Toil with the simple game name LOL. Nice one. So there he goes. So Toil as Space Marines and Tex as Chaos. So I imagine that Tex is going through his standard, like, I'm gonna play Sorcerer whenever I'm Chaos phased. So I imagine this is a Sorcerer game, and because it's Toil, I'm going to assume it's a Tech Marine game as well. So did you really? Would this really be the same matchup? No, it's an Apothecary. Okay, Apo time. Yes. So excellent. So the speed function works. So Tex, I imagine he's going to go for the same build, Chaos Space Marines with another Heretic, but Toil going for a different build. If I remember correctly, he said that he's going for 4 scouts, so let's see the 4 scout time begin. Did dodge my first name. So I imagine this is, no, this is definitely not the first game in this series, so I'm going to close that so we don't have to see that. So Tex going for a pretty standard cap order, sending his Chaos Space Marines to take the center first, and you know, this is pretty standard. It depends like how kind of aggressive you want to be. Personally, in my style, I like going straight to the middle with my tax and like going, I'm not very mobile, I'll set up in the center early on, you come to me, the onus is on you, and if you spread out, I'll come hunting for you. I'll come this way, shoot stuff up, whatever. So yeah, I like stamping my mark in the center. But, Sorcerer going over to this point. So Tex not opting for a second tick, so going for this power generator and fast node. Oh, a little bit of poor micro from Tex, a little bit of poor awareness. Really shouldn't be having heretics coming around that way around the cover, getting shot at. But yeah, so he's got the generator. So that says basically Havoc or Noise Marine, and I genuinely think a Noise Marine here. I genuinely think a Noise Marine. But really, these heretics take too much damage. And these scouts really going to be able to work in tandem and take down these, well, or at least like force these Chaos Space Marines to be uncomfortable. Bit of a risky play with these heretics, but get away pretty safely. Now these Chaos Space Marines come into melee, start tying up the main portion of this DPS, and nice ring around the rosies with these scouts, like really just being an annoyance. But after that maneuver, like again, the Chaos Space Marines are, oh no, gets another scout shotgun. Did not see that coming. But what I think Toil did in the end, which is correct, is bait the Chaos Space Marines onto this side of the cover, and then when you have these 2 shotguns, it's just easy to force them off, right? But going for the Sanguine Chainsword. Now, this is, I really like this this upgrade in with the Apothecary. Like, it just makes them like as, well, not even necessarily as effective as the Lictor Alpha with Feeder Tendrils, but almost as effective. I mean, you know that classic problem that Apothecary has, and he's got to heal himself. Well, in 1v1, there really isn't the DPS to tear through even 600 HP of Apothecary that quickly. He's still got Commander Armor, so if you've got that Life Leech with both the Bolt Pistol and the Chainsword, it means that he's always got the heal for his troops, unless the situation is really critical. So that was good. Whoa, Havoc's going into melee. That's not something you see every day. Havoc's forcing forward. Surprised? Oh, okay. Toil going for the scout sergeant, baiting him into that building. Doesn't fall for it though. That would have been a nice trick. That would have been pretty sweet. So Tex going for the Havocs, and I'm not too sure about this choice. Genuinely, I mean, like I really think that Toil, considering he hasn't got another squad, is getting an ASM anyway. That's what he wants, and with only one heretic and the one opportunity to have like a heretic to Sword of Flame, like a coruscating flame on him, he doesn't. I don't think he has like the real necessary melee DPS to take down ASM if Toil were to ever opt for it. And, I mean, nice defense. Takes a lot of damage on the CSM, so eventually they're going to have to go back to base. And, I mean, oh, he's gone for 2 Havocs. Okay. So, he immediately becomes much less mobile. And, oh my god. Toil. Just going for the flat generators. And, you know what? Toil arguably has enough to defend these generators to get value out of them, and that's all you have to do. Like if you go for 5 generators and all your plan is to get to T2 very fast and bring out a vehicle, if you get your Dreadnought out and they're still like hovering in tier 1 somewhere, or even like on the way to tier 2, oh nice grenade. But yeah, even if you lose 2 generators, if you have that advantage and it pushes you through, totally worth getting 5 generators. Like Tex, I found, like I think he's in this game in particular so far, he hasn't really made a concerted effort to focus on any power, and that's a big mistake considering that Toil is currently filling out his 2nd gen farm. So grenade array haven't made moves, so Toil going for 2 basic shotgun scouts with no sergeant and 1 sergeant scout, which is very logical. Wow, this is the gen wars. This is the fast tech wars. Here come the 5 generators for Tex, and even though he's got less map control, like look at this map control that spots a train tank with the Toil's hands. To be kind of expected on the one hand. 2 Havocs, not particularly mobile cappers, against 3 very mobile cappers, which are very happy to skirmish, work in tandem for fights when required, but also split up and split cap the map very quickly. I think Tex is finally getting the Aspiring Champion and the Eternal War on the way to tier 2. Still no war gear for the Sorcerer. So overall, Toil spending, I think it's 55 power, is that right? No, a lot more than that. 55 plus 20, 75 power tier 1. Tech spending less actually, just a bit less. I mean, more on the way to tier 2 by picking up. Oh yeah, I've got to turn down the game sound. Sorry guys. Jeez, why is that so high? I swear that was a lot lower. My apologies, people. So that is hopefully in the right zone now. So scouts moving forward, like, and look at how much work that this Apothecary is doing. Now that is CSM with Eternal War and the Aspiring Champion. He doesn't give 2 craps. He just runs straight forward, knocks him back, gets some very healthy DPS. And look at how this Apothecary made lots of space for these scouts. Toil being very efficient with his scout shotguns, because their DPS is linked to how close they are to their target. Just moves these scouts up, waltzes straight up to these gens, and Apothecary buying them space. Now, not something you'll see very often with squishy Apothecaries who like getting bolter, but you know, nice play. Havoc's just bailing out, knows the grenade is nearby, and Toil just going for it anyway. Gonna whiff, doesn't hit anything. Yeah, Toilailee, Dreadnought. That is obviously the most important unit on the field right now, but at the same time, Tex, having 1 for 2 Havocs, he's got opportunities to get a last cannon. No, he just gets the Chaos Dreadnought. He'll go toe to toe with that Dreadnought, especially with Havoc support. He's gonna have to get an upgrade for it at some point, right? But yeah, auto cannons, last cannons. Last cannon's obviously much more effective AV, but you know, a Chaos Dreadnought with a mark, even with 2 autocannons backing it up, is going to be able to take on a Dreadnought, you know, assuming that these scouts can't do too much work in the meantime, which is, of course, a big ask. Toil going for the node bash, and I don't know, to me that telegraphs that he's going to go for a decap, because I think it would just be more effective to just smash these gens, because, like, again, yeah, he is going for the decap, but from my perspective, Tex is again, like, he hasn't got many resources, and of course he's sitting on like quite a lot of upkeep, because this is characteristic of Chaos and characteristic of Tex's builds. So I would have gone for trying to bash it in the kind of time frame that these Chaos Dreadnought has not reached the field yet. Last cannon on the field. Great timing for that to arrive, but yeah, so this Dreadnought is quite quickly forced off. And is it gonna take another hit? Yes, it does. And it might even take another. But yeah, that is quite a lot of damage. Takes a lot of damage. And this is obviously the good thing about Toil's build. Even as the Apothecary, like, he's not the tech free, but he's gonna have enough repair speed to really maintain these Dreadnoughts. And here comes that classic Toil multi-melta Assault Cannon Dreadnought combo, supported by 3 scouts. And really here, I think, looking at Tex's composition, like, wait a second. I'm gonna be really annoying and pause again in this. Sorry about this, guys, but looking at Tex's composition, like, he's got 2 setup teams and heretics, and I kind of think that you got your anti-melee covered. You got two scout shotguns. There's no problem with melee straight away, but what I do think he really needs is some kind of way to deal with these havocs. And these scouts, like, they can run up, but they just get torn apart by Chaos Space Marines, especially if he picks up something like a Tzeentch CSM upgrade. I think he does have to get the Mark of Tzeentch on these Chaos Space Marines, considering the 2 shotguns. But for that reason, I would definitely pick up another Scout Sergeant, because just the threat of the grenade, just running up and having the more survivability against this warp fire that's coming out from the Sorcerer now, and the range DPS, I think it makes sense. Just run up here into this clustered sort of area that, like, the Havocs like setting up in, and just drop a couple grenades on their head, and then you move up in force, right? So Apothecary goes down. He goes down just to try to stop this Havoc, and the Havoc, I'm surprised he didn't get another shot, but yes, of course, just buying time for the Assault Cannon Dreadnought to use an Assault Cannon Barrage. All the while having actually, yeah, so A suggesting could get 3 elite training since he only has 1 tick squad. Yeah, I don't know. I would have gotten the sergeant myself, because I like the grenades personally. But yeah, I think again triple infiltration is perfectly viable. If I were in Tex's position though, I would get another heretic, just to kind of, like, shore up the defense a bit. And yeah, plasma cannon coming in from Toil now, and I think that's going to be an excellent choice considering what Tex has right now. Tex not having investments of the warp, so it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy for Tex. No, not pretty easy. It's pretty hard for Tex to get in range with a plasma cannon, which has got like 2 Dreadnoughts in front of it. So Tex really just having to be on the back foot. What kind of upgrades has he gone for now? So 1 Mark of Tzeentch and 1 Mark of Khorne. Mark of Tzeentch coming through the middle, trying to set up in this sort of area, I guess. And Mark of Khorne moving with the main force coming down this side, I guess. And Toil, now he's the one controlling the center, right? This very devastating, no pun intended, very dominating position for Plaza Devs, as was shown in that Riku versus Noisy game that, in the recent Rumble tournament. Excellent game. Check it out if you haven't already. So many people casted that game. It's hilarious. So another Dreadnought coming from Toil. This is all out. This is all out. And here comes the Mark of Tzeentch Chaos Dreadnought. Can 1 Mark of Tzeentch Dreadnought bust through what Toil has? Sorry, Toil? Tex? Oh. Yeah, what Toil has? I'm not sure. Nice mind games. Tries to make the Havoc kite onto the grenade. Successful. Doesn't do all too much damage though. And these Havocs still on the field. And Tex, you notice he doesn't instantly retreat them. They've got some HP regen, but he needs them for the fight now. Look at this map control. Tex warding off these scouts from like his one of his last remaining like natural rec points. And yeah, I think that I mean it was obviously going to be another Chaos Dreadnought, right? I predict a Mark of Khorne this time, since we're going for the whole Mark of Khorne, Mark of Tzeentch thing. No, I'm joking. But well, the good thing is the Mark of Khorne Dread, like, it needs a little bit of micro awareness to set his to know when to use exactly his blood rage, but the damage resistance that it gets and the damage output that it gets makes it one of the few units in tier 2 that can really deal the hurt and take the hurt from these dreadnoughts, which are now like, wow. This is 2 multi-melter with, yeah, Havoc loses the model almost completely wiped, but gonna get away absolutely fine. But now this is a 2 multi-melter and an assault cannon dreadnought, and man, this is some serious amount of dreadnought battles. What the hell's going on? I have no idea. Multi-melter blinking away at this Chaos Dreadnought, which is currently upgrading to the Mark of Khorne. Toil being very conservative, knowing that it's only a matter of time till this Havoc's back online, and look at this range. Classic last devs. Yeah, so Chaos Space Marines currently sieged up here. It's really one of those interesting games, because really you want to say that Toil has the advantage here. Looking at the compositions, you really do, but it's not as clear cut as that. Another heretic coming from oh god, it's not even look this the 3rd dreadnought doesn't fit on the unit cards, and the heretic doesn't fit on unit cards. This is just wow. I don't even know what to say anymore. This is like Toil just pressing the advantage, and he is being very gutsy. Like coming straight into the fortress that is like that is Texas based, but all the while you can't even say that during this time Toil is the one who's leeching away VPs. He's the one with a massive resource advantage, so arguably that is something that he could claim that he was sitting on. But ideally, when you do this sort of base pinning, you want to be the one sitting on all the VPs and the whole map. But you know, Toil is, I wouldn't say overextended, but Tex, if he plays it smart, he could end up picking off 1, 2 dreadnoughts, 1 plasma cannon. Oh, nice attempt on the scouts. Toil very quick to react though, not gonna have any problems there. Still, as I said, possibly overextended, but I think Toil's very confident with his dominating plasma gun. If you are going to assault this position, you have to take out the plasma cannon first. There's nothing you can do if that is going to be raining hell on your back line, which is actually a significant portion of your DPS. Obviously, all the while, Toil capping, no map control. Tex. Sorry, did I mention 3rd dreadnought is not shown on here, but 4th dreadnought is out. Loses the dreadnought, so yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Back row, Mark of Khorne completely tanking all the damage. 3 dreadnoughts going down. Toil's front line completely obliterated, and the scout goes down somewhere. What just happened? Wow. Multi-melter completely refreshed. Oh, by the way, I think a couple of the dreadnoughts were level 2 as well. That's a big loss for Toil. Wow. But at the same time, Toil, it's got floating a lot of power, and I think that it would be a mistake now to actually, again, it's difficult. I would get another unit myself in tier 2, but I think it's a really difficult decision, because in the end a Predator would be really nice. There's no doubt about it. A Predator would be really, oh, he's dropping something right on their heads, and it's going to be, what, a drop pod? Does he scare him off with a drop pod? No, that is mind games. That's really mind games, considering that it's not the cheapest in the world. Yeah, he's floating not too much red, and he's not floating that much wreck even, so just buying some time, I guess, is his plan. He doesn't want Tex to move up the map very freely, and he might lose the Dreadnought for his trouble. I think if he doesn't, I'd be very surprised. 1 hit point, and it goes down. Probably just from the, yeah, it's from the Zenith Dreadnought, so I think he's behind a grenade for his trouble, but yeah, Toil. Can Toil come back from this? Dreadnought's too fat to walk past scouts. Yes, yes. Can you not see the size of that thing? It's really fat. I'm sure it's like 20 times as tall as I am. Toil. Silly Toil. notice all this time though, not a single time has Tex bashed gens, and arguably it's too late. Arguably it is too late. Like 150 power, he would still have 240 power when he got to tier 3. It's just too late to bash power, and in that sense, Toil only has to focus on requisition. Like he can focus on denying Tex power, but at the same time, like the time for bashing is past for Tex. If he wanted to influence the power, he should steal it. And if I were him, I would use my superior squad count to like steal that, because he needs the power, right? And what better way to punish punish your opponent for fast teching past you than to just steal his power. Plasma cannon doing a whole lot of damage just now, like taking off how much off the oh wow, that's 2 hits, and that's like it's trying like a Marcus Zinch. Oh wow, they might go down. Got the detection, beautiful maneuvering by Toil, completely ambushing. Like they're ready. Oh wow, those are 2 big losses. Both the shrine and I mean they aren't massive, but bear in mind that Tex, like winning that massive engagement up by his power and killing those 3 dreads, that only gives him the army advantage. That neither gave him directly the map control advantage, nor did it give him the VP advantage, nor did it give him the tech advantage. That has to come from leveraging his army, and the only thing he had was his army. That's the only advantage that he had, and losing 2 units, you cannot do that when you're in that position. A beautiful play and from Toil, and probably gonna get these. Those are dead Havocs, and Tex just bleeding squads now. Tex really, for large segments of this game, like kept all of his squads alive, kept them really, really working, and after winning that massive engagement, having dropped the generators and the map control for so long, real glimmer of hope. But it's again the balance, because Toil did what I thought, what I would have done, which was getting more squads out, and I think they were really good choices. Assault squad, Devastator with a last stand, really, really good choices considering Tex's build. It really gives him the flexibility to cope with what Tex is bringing, and in fact, he's dominating map control now. Marks of Marcus CSM relegated to forcing scouts, capping scouts off, and now that is definitely not the job that you want your Marcus CSM doing. You want them shooting at assault mains. You want them shooting at devastated marine squads. You do not want them on this side of the map influencing VPs. And that's not to say that Tex was wrong to do that, because it's a logical thing to do. Like, what are you gonna do? Send your Chaos Heretics to cap there? No, it's good play from Toil. Like, however indirectly, like sending over these scouts to the flanks meant that it was much safer for his heavy armor to be running around, right? No Marcus CSN to be harassing him. So Toil, I think this is what he should have done from the start. Like, just sitting in this sort of area and really dominate this path and really stop him from coming out. If he comes out through here, then you just like push through here and just bash all his gens. Like, he didn't need to get so. Oh, grenade going in? No, Tex dodges it very well, I should add. Toil not even decapping, he's just keeping an eye on the front lines, trying to get some information on what's going on. Raptor's out for Tex now, and again, like, Tex's units guards are off the side. Like, there are so many squads, like, it's impossible to keep track of like a normal game, right? Sorry, needed a drink there. But yeah, Tex not finishing off his repairs, getting a bit micro-stock perhaps. Down goes the purification vials. Wow. So he saw that. Toil getting purification vials this late into the game. And I have to say that's a surprise, considering vials, combat stims, heal. It's a relative. Oh wow, that is a lot of damage from that plasma cannon. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised that Toil was holding the line with just these 2 units, but I guess he wanted these units to be over influencing the west side of the map. Tex, are you gonna bash? Oh, that's a bad mistake, in my opinion. What are you gonna do? Toil's got 450 power. It's too late. You'd be better off. You'd be better off going for a map control orientated style now. Like I know it's hard to decide, but I think it was pretty obvious. I mean, obviously we knew from the start that Toil had like 6 gens, but and he might not have scouted this, but I think Tex really should know, based on how many dreadnoughts have been pouring out at the speed of light, that Toil had more than 3 gens. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people would be able to tell you that based on the length of this game and a million generators. So definitely the correct choice for the Predator. The Predator completely dominates these 2 Chaos Dreadnoughts, and they're running scared. And the best thing that Predators do, like, not only they're faster than Dreadnoughts, they can shoot when they're kiting, and the Marquesine's Dreadnought cannot. So the moment it's on the run, it is in a big trouble from this last cannon Devastator, which is again another excellent choice. So upgraded Raptors with their aspiring champion. Bloodletter summoning coming down now. Like the Raptors are winning. Like losing the Raptors were winning the initial. Excuse me. ASM were winning the initial fight, but the Bloodletter summoning completely switching the fight to the other favor. ASM lucky to get away with only losing a model and a sergeant, but at the same time, this is just the buy time because the VPs are down to 34 versus 215. Another Raptor squad coming. I'm pretty sure that's an Overwatch mistake, but I can't be completely sure. It could have some utility right now, but at the same time, oh, beautiful retreat grenade. Could have gotten more, I suppose, but 2 models, very happy with that result. Let's have a look at levels. 3, 3, 2, and like neither side having like a particular like level advantage. Actually, like Toil had lost a lot of stuff, so he lost a lot of his levels, and so did Tex actually. So it's overall been very even in the fights, I would say, but what it hasn't been even in is map control and overall proactiveness, and I think Tex has been really quite passive in this game. Like he could have, he spent so much time repairing and sitting here, and like I think Toil overextended a little bit. Okay, big engagement going on down here. CSM taking a lot of damage from this plasma cannon. In comes the second shot. They're probably going to take 2 models more, and almost loses the entire squad. Melta going down in this Chaos CSM. Predator kiting away from the Chaos Dreadnought. Blood Rage being dropped in the ASM. ASM are in big trouble, but they jump out easy. Still got the heal if he needs it, I believe, and Chaos Sorcerer forcing off these plasma cannon devastators. But this is these Chaos Dreadnoughts are overextended and are effectively lost. After which, the GG is going to be definitely dropped as the Chaos Raptors cap this point. Chaos Heretics trying to get the 3 cap off, but he's not going to be able to finish off this Predator. Loses the Chaos Dreadnought, keeps kiting away. Blood Rage being dropped even to try to finish it off, but with this last death setting up, that's not going to happen. He hasn't even gotten, well, he has got enough red for a warp, but that's not going to make any difference. Even if he had kept the Blood Rage Dreadnought, it's all too late. But here we go. Toil with 744 red, ready to drop an Angel of Death and an Orbital Bombardment if he wanted to. But I think he's gonna drop an Orbital Bombardment just for shits and giggles. That would be fun. Come on, Toil, show us the best OB of all time. Again, Tex, like same story as last game. I think like just overall the lack of proactivity, the lack of oh yeah, he's talking about lack of melters. Yeah, I think it's fine that Raptors are differentiated from ASM, but I really like Raptors myself. Not so much in 1v1, but I think they're a really good unit. And here comes the Orbital Bombardment. Here it comes on the Raptors' heads. And the Bloodletter summoning. That's trolly, isn't it? I'm gonna use a Bloodletter summoning and completely win this fight, but Toil just drops a nuke on their face, and let's have a look at the overall effect. Oh wow, did that just happen? Okay, I thought they took almost all the models, which yeah, apparently they didn't. So yeah, nice one. Probably the least influential nuke I've seen in about a couple months, probably. Yeah, like Tex doing his usual like yeah. I mean, Tech definitely doesn't give up easy. That much is for sure. But he's currently running in with a completely infantry-based army, effectively, against the Predator, and without the Melta, it's really only a matter of time. Tech's throwing everything at the wall, like Scouts force melee on these Chaos Heretics, and without the Aspiring Champion, that one goes down. Plasma Cannon running around with one model, no problem, says Toil. I got this Plasma Cannon Devastator. Aspiring Champion doesn't even have a Heretic that he can Doom Blast. Almost got it within 100. Hooray. It's okay, Tex, you got him next time. So, that's how you get 3 Scouts in Fast Tech with Apothecary. I knew it could be done, because obviously it's Toil, but yeah, overall very well played. I would say Tex needed to scout the power. He really needed to understand the situation that his opponent was in. If he had done that, he would have been able to get, after his first Havoc, he would have been able to get a Noise Marine. And the Noise Marine would have punished. Because, what's he going to do? Just, after he picked up his 6th generator, buy another Assault Marine squad? No. So he had 3 Scouts. All of their abilities, even like all their weapons and all their abilities got silenced by Noise Marines, and they take a lot of damage from it. And the Cacophony effectively counters the melee Apothecary. If he charges in, you got your not Aspiring Champion, Eternal War on your Chaos Space Marines, and you focus them down. And with that, what Chaos Heretic, Havoc, CSM, and Noise Marine, you should be able to take down not 1 farm, but 2 farms. And not only that, you force him not to get 1 grenade, but 2 grenades, because you just hop into this building with your Havoc, you got your Noise Marine over here, and what's he going to do? Just use 1 grenade and force you out? No. That is a guaranteed gen bash. Whereas here, you can just sweep back around after you force him off and get the other farm. And Tex really should have used, he didn't. This is the problem when you go for a heavier tier 1 than your opponent and you don't aim to bash gens. What happens, as we saw, is you get heavily out-teched and you end up being on the back foot because he just ends up having less upkeep and therefore more requisition income and more power income because he's got more gens. And, Toil, I think, was overextended in this area. He could have done the same kind of trick in this area, which would have drawn his opponent. Because for his opponent to then move into this area is far more telegraphed. If he's over here, then Tex has to worship up here instead of here, and has to move up his setup teams over here. So you can back off more easily, or you can have. Basically, you don't feel pinned down by these last cannons here, and he's coming here, as opposed to coming this way, because you can effectively hear where the the infiltration worship actually is, and if it's here, then he's coming for you, and he's not doing the wraparound, and that's just more stuff that he has to concede to you instead of setting in base with the damage resistant aura, with the infiltrate that is hard to breach, And that fight really could have swung things around, but overall, Toil being the more proactive one, having more map control most of the time, and when he fell behind with the 3 Dreadnoughts, he didn't just mass retreat, he didn't just mass concede all the map control and all the assets that he had gained all over the map, and he fought for them, he skirmished for them, he bought time, and he got out cheaper units, to stop gap and buy time for the eventual Predator. Because, again, if you think of it this way, Toil had the choice, going with more units, which fill the roles now, or heading straight for tier 3 and waiting out for the Predator. And if he had done that, the latter, getting the Predator straight away, he could have lost one gen farm, both gen farms, and he would have been down these rec points probably, and Toil would have been the one seriously on the back foot when the Predator came out. Now that Predator could have turned the tides of battle, but it didn't. He didn't have to rely on that because having gone the squads, it maintains its map control cost effectively until such a time that the Predator is ready to hit the field and make the ultimate impact. So I think that was a really, really good choice from Toil, considering the arguably I would say sloppiness of the loss of the 3 Dreadnoughts. So overall, great game. Well played, people, and we're going to go to the next break. Please feel free to leave any comments, questions, thoughts, definitely questions about this game, because I will answer them before we start the next event. God, I need a drink so badly. And for once, non-alcoholic. Oof. Yeah, I'm going to onto the stream chat now. So, yeah. Write comment, like any questions, comments, thoughts now, would be great, as I'm coming onto the stream. Hi guys.